I'm Courtney Coletta, and if you're new here, cool, so am I. I just got started on YouTube recently, and honestly, out of everything that I do want to do and have been planning on doing, this was the last thing that I thought I'd get into. Um, I will be doing a lot of cooking and gardening. That's really what I'm here for, teaching people how to reconnect with their food, especially these days. But I have a spiritual practice. I'm a deeply spiritual person. But only in the past year have I started actually using tarot cards to kind of just have a better understanding and confidence in my reality. And it's just been a way for me to connect and receive from a higher power when my mind is a little bit chaotic. A bit of my backstory I will share in the future. I'm not actually going to get into that right now, but I have CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm also, I've had PMDD my whole life, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I'm in a place in my life that I am crawling out of, and I will be sharing my journey. But this spiritual practice of mine has been something that's been very private and very much just mine. But in all the readings I've been doing lately, especially since I've been doing the YouTubing very minimally, just some weird funny shorts just to like kind of rip the band-aid off and get me in it. Um, I've been I've been guided to share this process of mine. Again, I've only been doing tarot for about a year, and I had started with my grandmother's deck. She had passed right after my son was born, actually, not too long after, and I'm glad that she got to meet him. But going through her house and everything, I was able to get a lot of her heirlooms, and I actually ended up with another tarot card deck that I actually gifted to my friend who does tarot for real and actually knew my grandmother, and it just wasn't a card deck that resonated with me. So while I started with that one, I knew it wasn't really for me. I kind of just learned a little bit of the language, if you will, on that deck. And my grandmother also had this deck in the bottom of her closet. I don't know if she actually really ever used this one. That one's not for me either. It took me a long time to allow myself to practice tarot, honestly. And the decks that I ended up with, I have two, and they're very specific. So I'm a light worker. I have a lot of light in me. I am a light. But I have had a very dark and shadowy journey. So I am somebody who lives in the depths. I've got a lot of... Sorry, there's a lot of noise in the background right now. Hang on. Sorry, this is just part of my life. It's just a little bit of chaos here. You know, it's fair to say that I don't have any safe space of my own. That's part of why I'm on here, why I'm sharing my journey on YouTube and just sharing my life on YouTube, just because I feel very solitary in everything I'm doing, and I don't have a lot of support in the way that I need. I do have a lot of support in other ways, but we get what we can from what we have around us, and sometimes it's okay to admit that it's not enough. I've been very fortunate in everything that I do have and that I have overcome. But the reality is, nothing of my life is mine, except for my spiritual practice. But now I'm going to be sharing that too. So yeah, it's sorry if there's some background noise. That's just going to be the name of the game. I'm a mom. I have a yappy dog, and I live with two very loud parents. And yeah. My son's coming in. And now there's a mower, but you know, this is just life. So, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this hat, it's not just to be cool, even though I look very cool, yes. This is my Grandpa Mac's hat, and a big part of my practice is just being connected to the ancestors, and this is a picture of my Grandpa Mac and me when I was younger. I was at a place called Mitchell Lake, a cabin we rented out there. It was wonderful. My grandpa died on January 6, 2021, which was just a terrible day. He died in a nursing home of COVID, alone. And yeah, it took us months to be able to celebrate his life just because of the circumstances. 2020 took a lot out of me and my family altogether. And honestly, I want to say that I rebuilt and got better after that, but my life took a really impossible turn. And then just awful things out of everybody's control that I had to overcome. And I'm on the other side of that now. But a big part of me healing and a big part of me doing this work is getting over myself and sharing what I can, when I feel inclined to do so. Because I have nothing else going on other than writing, gardening, taking care of my son and my dog. And that's pretty much the work I'm doing right now. I am also a candle maker and a crafter, and I have a small business, but that's kind of on hold right now until I can get out of this house. And I'm on my way there. I have no idea how I'm getting there, but we are on our way there somehow, someway. So I am the one reading these cards. I talk to the higher power, source, spirit, whatever people want to call it. It's mine. It's mine. It's all I have right now. Supporting me and uplifting me and giving me any feeling of security. So I worship in the way I can, and I give thanks in the way I can, and it's important for me to do so. And I think it's really important to find what calls to you. Like I said, I knew those tarot decks that I've worked with in the past, they weren't, for me, they were teaching me like the start of the language, right? So this is actually what I do use. I felt very connected to this deck. This is the Dark Side of Tarot. It's all black and white. It's really beautiful. I keep my tarot cards in cases like this, card cases, and they actually sit in a windowsill right above my bed, on a shelf in front of a windowsill, right above my bed every single night. This is what the artwork on the back of the cards look like, and like I really enjoy. This was actually the last reading. I usually put the last reading at the bottom of the deck. It was crazy. I really like the artwork on these cards. I really felt drawn to them. This one, the Mischief, Medieval Mischief Tarot deck. This is, I still read all of the descriptions as I'm pulling and reading. I get the sense of what's there, but I still read all of the descriptions of everything. This tarot card deck, which lives in this fun little case, and actually the book, it's such a small deck, the book actually goes right in here with it. This one, it's the back's actually teal, but all of the artwork it's pretty crazy. Like, it is interpretive, to say the least. But I love it. I've only recently started using this deck again. I had a workshop in a local building. I'm still in the middle of moving out of it, but there's no elevator, so it's like impossible. It's really cool. Anyways, I had that space so I could have some sort of safe space, but even that wasn't a safe space. Just a lot of noise all the time, no windows, and just the building itself is like falling apart. And the people there, it's a very confusing place. And that's kind of the name of the game in the town that I'm in. I'm in a town called East Rochester, which is outside of Rochester in upstate New York. And where Rochester is not known to be the best, there's a lot of industry that went away here and left a lot of poverty, and I've seen every side of that. And East Rochester is like removed from the city of Rochester. It's a mile square town with 2 Tim Hortons and K through 12 all in one building. It's very different from how I grew up in the middle of the city going to a Catholic school, and it's night and day. And I really tried to ingrain myself in this town, and it just wasn't feeding me back. Like, it was all just me. And so I really distanced myself from my surroundings because of that. I don't feel super safe anywhere in the surrounding area. I hate living in a neighborhood. I was really struggling living in Seattle because everything was right on top of each other. Eventually I moved to Shoreline, and that was very short-lived before I got pregnant, and I had a very high-risk pregnancy and was not able to work like pretty much immediately. I'll tell that story another time. That is not for today because that was just the beginning. But you know, I'm kind of armored and surrounded by my ancestors right now. My grandpa Mac, this is his hat. This is my grandmother's. We both had an affinity for Mercury dimes. This is a Mercury dime that my uncle had mounted on this for her birthday one year. And I inherited that, and it actually created a really great opportunity for me to connect with my uncle that I had not really connected with in the past on most anything. Not that we didn't get along or anything like that. It was just, you know, this is not one of those kind of relationships. So my grandmother and I also had a very strained relationship in my early age. It wasn't until much later that I actually received an apology from her for how she treated me. It took me a few years and moving home again with the pregnancy to reconnect with her. And we became very close at the end of her life just because she needed a lot of help, and we were there. Me and my mom were close proximity to her. So, yeah, she got to meet her grandson. She loves babies, not so much with the kids, and that's okay. But she was a big part of me coming to tarot, and she even has a space in my little trinkets box that I have. Got some pretty cool stuff in there. I don't know if I'll ever show that, but yeah, these are the decks that I use. I still have the boxes for them because obviously these are the decks that I use. So with this, I am pulling for myself. This is me pulling for me. But, you know, if you find anything that resonates with you, cool. Like, that's what this is, right? Like, that's trying to find that way of communicating with the energies that are all around us and surround us, but cutting through the noise of literally what the physical world is around us. And a part of what's so uncomfortable for me is that I know I belong in nature. I know I belong in a more natural abode. And just the normal constructs of living are really trapping for me. And unfortunately, too, my parents, they just have a lot of issues of their own and don't have a lot of love to give in a very big way. And so, well, they've been really supportive of me putting a roof over our heads. They let us, you know, live in this bedroom, and they let me take over the garden because I don't know what would have happened to me if I didn't have a garden to tend. Oh man, through all of everything I went through. But you know, that all wasn't enough. Like the gardening and the writing and the doing my hobbies and everything like that, it just wasn't enough. There was this big missing piece for me. And tarot was what brought me to a feeling of confidence in my creation, a feeling of like I am on the right path, I'm in the right place at the right time, and that's really all I can do right now. I thought I had the dark night of the soul, and then yeah, I did have a worse day than I thought through a mental health crisis, and it's weird because in the summer, end of the summer, beginning of fall, I awoke, and for like, I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe not even, I was That was me. And I was free. And then I've been in a stall ever since that. I get the glimmers of it every once in a while, but I'm just not where I need to be physically, and that's hard. But being called to do this and share this part of my journey, maybe that will help. I don't know, but I know that I'm ready to share. I know that I'm ready to communicate with the world again, but on my terms. I don't know who's coming with me into the next phases of my life. I obviously my son, I'm a dog, but other than that, everything else is up in the air right now. I'm just living for us three. Like, that's all I have going on, and that's all I can do. And I'm not really in a position where I can just go back to work, unfortunately, but I also am not screwed up enough where I was able to get on like DSS and Section 8 and that kind of stuff like that. So even though that's probably the best route, but especially with the politics and everything like that these days, it's just not an option for me. I need to be self-sufficient in my way. But again, I can't just like go back to work. Like, I have too many things going on, too many triggers and that kind of stuff that I'm working on constantly. I'm currently doing parts work with my therapist, which is new to me, so I can't really, it's kind of accepting all the individual parts and identifying all the individual parts, like, and it's hard because I know why I do a lot of the things that I do, and I have a lot of the responses that I have. I'm just not able to really not react, and that's what I'm working on right now. I want to be able to respond, but I'm just very reactive right now. And so that's why, like, my psychiatrist has me on a slew of medications and supplements that are very heavy and intensive, and it is to help my brain heal a little faster and just keep me going in the environment that I can't get out of right now. So that's a big part of it. I live in a constant heaviness, and any glimmer of light and love I have, it all comes from me and seeing the world as beautiful as it is, even in the darkness that I have surrounding me. And that's okay, you know. A big part of me is that, like, my family has a lot of work to do. I've asked for family counseling for years now, and the issues that we've had that I said we're going to get to a point of no return, they got there. And now they're finally, I mean, they were going to therapy for a week. I mean, it hasn't come to fruition after that, so I don't know. It all seems too little too late. And I really alienated myself from my friends locally and online, everywhere. I've alienated myself completely because it's really hard to be living in the environment that I live in and be myself, because this isn't me. And so it's really hard for me to know who's in my life because I'm me, or because they want something from my realm, or what. I don't have a lot of trust in pretty much anybody right now, except for the universe and myself. And now I have a new therapist calling me. Hang on. So this is going to look a little bit different from now on because I just tripped over this and destroyed this light that I was using. Like, totally destroyed. This was in my laptop. Thankfully it's okay. My God. But this light, that is dead. So interesting. So that was actually, wow, it just fell off. That was a call from a new therapist group that specializes in DBT therapy. And I'm not too sure about what all that is yet, but I know I need it. They do individual and group work. So having to just kind of share, like, why am I here with her? Okay, full blown full-blown cry fest. My God. But, I need that. They have a 6-month waiting list. They don't accept my insurance. But I really hope to be in a different place in 6 months. My therapist that I love and have been working with for the past few years is moving home to Colorado, and I'm very sad about that. So she's trying to get me the very best help that I can get. I'll still have my psychiatrist, and I'll probably make her talk to me a lot more regularly than just once a month in that meantime. But yeah, I'm hoping that this new intensive therapy opens up and works out. It ranges from like $150 to $200 an hour for individual, and it's $100 for the group, and that sounds like it's on Zoom. The group portion, that will be interesting, but we'll see. But it's really, I hit the top card of the deck, and it was strength. That's what I need right now. I'm terrible at shuffling my tarot card deck. I will be totally honest. I don't have like the very best way of going about it. I don't do reversals. I don't know. I will interpret it one way or another, and I don't think the card's direction really does a thing for me. I don't know. You have to find what is yours, what your way of practicing is. I don't have any kind of teacher. I've seen other tarot card readers at work. I've had my tarot read a couple of times, but nothing really felt like that was for me, what they did. So I just kind of have my own way of going about it. I'm good with that. And I've actually never read tarot with my grandpa's hat on before, but my son is super into hats and demanded I wore this the other day, and I went through the whole day without realizing that it was still on my head. It was so comfortable. And if I have anything with him around me, I feel 10 times cooler. Sounds like my son's up from a nap now. Did he nap yet? No. He was still going down. I was just out there. Pause. Okay, I am surprised. I'll be surprised if I actually post this. I feel like I've been way too open and vulnerable for like my first thing, and I've had to stop it so many times just because so many things have happened. Yeah, I don't know. This is obviously chaotic and obviously messy, so if I do post this video, it's likely because it can only get better from here, right? And anybody who does resonate with this, well, if you can resonate with me here, I mean, yeah, let's see where we go. I'm gonna pull out. Okay, well, got the 3 of Wands that just fell out. A man with 3 staves. We got strength, and we got the 3 of Wands. The strength came right when I needed it. I was thinking that I was having a not great kind of go with this, and then actually in between this, my cousin, who is a new mom, just came by. She's got a 3-week-old baby. Super cute. But I had a really strong emotional response. This is the first newborn I've been around since my son came. My son is about to be 3 years old tomorrow, and he's the picture of health. He's amazing. but we had a really, really rough start. So seeing her little newborn baby was very hard. It's difficult for me to see pregnant women. It's difficult for me to see newborns. I unfortunately couldn't bring myself to go to her baby shower. I had a really rough pregnancy and I had a really rough start to motherhood, but that happened in between all of this. And then I brought my son to the spray park and had a great time, and finally have a chance to come back and finish this on a bit of a better note than I was earlier. That's for sure. I'm feeling like it's this. Wow. The Ace of Swords, articulation, like owning your mind, all of that. That's what I need right now. This is a very interesting spread, just because it is so interesting as to what's happened and what's played out. And even if I will, because I see the man with 3 staves, and it's just like, got my magic, it's all right here, but, you know, kind of put my back to the world, and I've been holding on to it, and I'm looking out to the landscape ahead, and I have so much behind me, and I'm ready to move forward, but I am stalled. And of course we started with strength, which is, really need this all the time. This and temperance are my 2 cards that I like want to embody. The other cards that really resonate with me are the Chariot, the Sun and the Moon, and the 10 of Pentacles. Those are the cards that really, when I see them, I'm like, oh. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which, yeah, this whole video has been me kind of just saying a lot of things, being a little bit too much maybe. But no, it's like, this is what I need to say. This is me. This is what I need to do. And this is kind of just like, I might be in my head a lot with this process. And of course I have imposter syndrome. I don't know anybody who would be in my shoes trying to do this that doesn't feel this way. So this is what we have. And so the overall energy I'm getting from this is, I do have it in me. I have the plan. I have the clear vision. It's just getting to the point of articulation. And I'm at the point where I'm opening up my throat chakra. I'm just being honest. I'll just say what I can while I can. And hopefully this doesn't resonate with anybody. I love that. I'd love nobody to ever see this. And so that would be a thing. But I do want to read the descriptions of these. But like I said, it feels like I have the power and the strength in me. I've been prepared. I've got my magic. I've got my power. I've got my knowledge. And it's really just at the point where I need to execute, and I need to find the balance of my mind. So I'm gonna do the Medieval Mischief tarot card deck. Normally when I'm pulling, I have a way I pull. It's 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords is exactly where I am right now. Just on the precipice and trapped. And I can see all the beautiful things that I want and all the beautiful things that I'm headed towards, but it's impossible to see how I get there. It feels impossible right now. But it's not, and I know it's not, because I know where I'm headed. And we've got the Four of Cups. Waiting. Sitting with all these amazing things and just waiting. And what will you do with the power? What will you do with it? Yeah. Okay. And again, these are my interpretations of just what I'm seeing, but we'll go deep on reading the meanings. Just the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I've been wanting. I've been wanting, and I've been praying, and I've been doing the work that I can do, but admittedly, my full-time job right now is my mental health. That is what I do. That is all I can do. I just work on myself in that regard every day. And I do everything I can to help my brain in the process. And yeah. So that's coming up with the Six of Pentacles for me, is just being in the financial... There's not even a financial situation I am in. There's no finances around me. There's nothing around me at this time. And that just leaves you open for great abundance, right? That's the thing. You gotta have nothing before you can have everything. And that's the work that I've been doing. It's been the quiet work. It's been the work that, my parents think I'm lazy and all of that, but when you're on I'm in a constant state of survival mode, and I do it anyways. I do all of it anyways. And now I'm doing this anyways, which is incredible. So there's 10,000 people out there that are going to do this way better than me. So if just one person starts doing something, because if I can do this where I'm at and what I've shared already, and this is just nothing, this is just me getting started, somebody else could do way more with this. So just because the mischief, medieval mischief deck is much less of a descriptor in these pages, I'm going to start with those. So again, we had the Ten of Swords, the Four of Cups. Again, this is me trapped. This is me in a space of in-between, and having the shadows all around me, like the skulls around her head. And just all I can do is just release. And then we've got the Four of Cups. In a state of pouring into my passions, pouring into myself, pouring into the world, the natural world around me, not necessarily the people world around me. But, yeah. Feeding all of that, but I'm still kind of waiting to be poured into. I can only pour into myself so much. And it's been years that I've been pouring into myself. I've not had, when I say I don't have the support around me, I am very fortunate to have, not wealthy parents, but set parents. And so they can support me and my son in that way. I don't have a car. I only have a phone. That's pretty much all that they pay for. I'm on Snap, so I pay for the groceries for the most part. So yeah, it's a lot. It's weird, but the emotional and mental, that's not existent. There's not a lot of love in this house within me for my son. But yeah, sorry if you hear some voices in the background. But yeah, so the Ten of Swords. Internal conflict, pain, ruin, pain, tears. Yeah. It's been a lot of what I've been lately. And then the Four of Cups. boredom, apathy, withdrawal. Yeah, I've pretty much just been me, myself, and I, and pouring into the creative projects when I can. Sorry, there's energies outside my door right now that I'm trying to just focus on me. Well, you're good. No safe space. No private space. I wasn't gonna let you listen to her pee. Anyways, okay, where were we? Four of Cups. Yeah, boredom, apathy, and withdrawal. Exactly where I've been. Okay, and then we had the Six of Coins. Six of Pentacles. Well, this is coins, actually. The other deck is Pentacles. These are coins. Sharing, charity, and reciprocity. Yeah. This is me sharing and giving myself some room for reciprocity. Yeah, I guess I've been looking for ways of charity. I'm not even gonna be disillusioned about that, between DSS and raising money for, you know, my business and stuff like that. Yeah, I've just never done that for myself. And now I'm trying to get to a point where I can work for myself. I don't know if this has anything to do with that, but this is really just a way for me to get my this sucks. I like it. It's just weird. It always is gonna suck to put yourself out there. It's always gonna suck to open yourself up to energies who may not want to support anything, and maybe just be floating out in the ether of the internet on my own here, just, you know, being the only one who ever sees this. Actually, that'd be okay. I'm actually at a perfect point right now to share this, because and if I do share this, I think I am, because fuck it. Can't be more real. Yeah, I'm gonna share this, and I only have one other long video, and it's only an 8-minute video, and it was around food, and it was my first one, and it wasn't good, and this isn't good, and it doesn't need to be right now. This is the time to share this kind of garbage in a big way. And honestly, I think I'm gonna upload this immediately. Just every clip of it too. Just because I don't have the room on my phone to keep it. I recently got rid of Meta products, so I had to download all of my information for my Facebook and my Instagrams. So I have a lot of data on my phone that I just don't even know where to begin to organize it. So I gotta like do that again, which is fun. I had just done this process, consolidating all of my photos and work over the years across 7 different devices onto one device and make it organized and usable. But then I did it with, I had to do this. I had to get off Facebook. I had to stop sucking the zuck. You know, I just, that man is infuriating, and he always has infuriated me since the beginning. And I've always compromised on myself by engaging on his platforms. And so I'm not doing that anymore. And I am very proud of myself. And as I say that, my phone maxed out on capacity, so I had to delete some stuff. And I am just in it now. I am finishing this video today, and then I'll delete it entirely off of my phone, and we'll just be out on the internet, because, you know, that's safe. So, we just went over the medieval mischief 10 minutes ago. Now we've got the Strength card, the Three of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. So, okay. This is all about energy, courage, self-mastery, work, and prowess, which I have none of. No, I do. I do, just, you know, not in this. Strength is the transformation of fear into unbridled power. It is self-mastery and harnessing inner vitality to guide external forces, responding to what comes to you instead of reacting to it. Oh my God, did I not say that exact thing earlier? Okay. All right. It is internal and external strength. Strength in the face of adversity and power of the muscles, organs, circulatory systems. It is the ability to quiet the mind, even in the midst of turmoil. It is fortitude of personal character and action. It is keeping promises, taking responsibility for actions, and speaking the truth. Strength is the courage to be who you are. Lions are the astrological symbol of Leo. Leo's astrological symbol is hidden inside the lion's curling mane. The lion also appears in the Wheel of Fortune's lower left corner. I can never say this word, lemniscate, the figure 8 on top of her head, appears above Strength's head, just as it did in the Magician card. This reflects the infinite nature of energy, life, and divinity inherent in the human soul. A distant rising mountain suggests spiritual heights. There is no mountain on Dark Strength, as all power and focus remain on the here and now. There is no past or future. The present moment is the only thing that counts. Dark Strength's wild lion reflects the shadow side of the personality, holding deep-seated fears and vulnerabilities. Though the lion is terrifying to behold, the figure remains calm. What scares you the most? Embrace it. Explore fear to harness it. That is a belief of mine. That is actually why I'm here and doing this. I love this card so much, and it makes sense now why I pretty much said those exact things earlier. That makes me, I love that. Fuck, I love that. Pardon for this word. And that'll be 3 of Wands. Observation, patience, collaboration, send-off, creativity, action. The 3 of Wands reflects the propulsion of energy, collaboration, and business finesse. It is putting plans in motion, commencement, and execution of ideas, often with others. Business partnerships take center stage. A figure watches his ship sail out to sea as a carefully laid plan is executed. Creativity is inherent in the number 3, and the future outcome is assured. Ingenuity, imagination are spurred on by desire for action. Yes. In matters of the heart, a plea, offer, or extension is given. Hi. The figure grasps wand with his right hand, the dominant hand. Become an active participant. I am. Do not wait on the sidelines. The ships, one for each wand, are metaphors for desires, intentions, and material goods. Waite tells us those are his ships bearing his merchandise, which are sailing over the sea. The ships are a clear metaphor for desires, intentions, and ideas being set forth. What are you launching? A YouTube channel. Hey! T.S. Eliot refers to this card in the epic in 1922, The Wasteland. Here is a man with 3 staves, Eliot writes. His poem goes on to make a prophecy, fear death by water. It is a reminder of inherent fears when launching an idea, business, or plan into the unknown. Forge ahead. I shall. No matter what. If you are still here, we're friends. We're friends. The Dark 3 of Wands engages directly with the sea and the ship as if he has conjured it. Firmly grip creative control. Focus on a single ship or vision. The energy and flow as symbolized by the water are available and effective. Turn the back to distracting people and ideas. Focus on the task at hand, hell or high water, and make use of resources. Honestly, this is like, yeah, that's exactly how I was reading this. This is very resonative of everything that's happened. I want to be a published writer. That is my biggest goal. I want to share way more about homesteading and about my future homestead that will happen with my animals. And, you know, I have a different way I want to live and a different way I want to be. And I want to share all of that because I think I have a pretty unique perspective and just background. And as I share more of my story, I think you'll make those connections too. But, this is just me getting started here. This is just me finding my power. And I actually feel really confident in what I've read so far. So we're just going to read the last card. It's getting pretty noisy outside my door, so we'll be quick. The Ace of Swords. Responsibility, achievement, power of the mind, conviction, and will. The Ace of Swords is a victory of thought, a fresh idea and genius. It is the beginning of the element of air and represents the thinking mind, stories, and decisions. I have shared a lot of my story today that was not a decision that I was planning on making, and I did. And then all these came out, and it was kind of... And everything happened in between. Like, this has been a whole day since I started filming this. It's crazy. Aces stand as the font, funnel, and doorway of elemental energy. The Ace of Swords is an outpouring of air. A lot of air today. The brilliance of the mind and the clarity of truth. Focus on a single thought. Keep it simple. Gather momentum for your situation by pouring your resources into a single action or plan. Power lays in conception. A white radiating hand holds a gleaming sword. The cloud is manifestation from the invisible to the visible world. The sword pierces a golden victory crown, an olive branch of peace and prosperity hangs to the right. A palm branch suggests victory and triumph descends from the left. I'm sorry, my mouth is getting really dry. I can hardly... That is one thing. If you're gonna start any kind of anything like this, my mouth has been the biggest issue for months when I've been trying to record things like a podcast and stuff like that. The mouth thing, it gets dry, and especially if you have an anxiety, which, yeah, I don't know if you've noticed the upper lip sweat, but yeah, it's a lot. Your body does crazy things. The Ace of Swords is the essence of the mind. It is swift, clever execution. This ain't swift. Not clever at all. It represents an excellent idea. Maybe I shouldn't post this. This is not a good idea. Intellectual instincts and mental acuity. The Ace of Swords suggests you follow the first instinct and the initial thought. Damn it! All right. Dang. It is the moment of clarity. A problem solved. It directs the will and focuses the consciousness. The palm's grip of the sword is tight. Aces forcefully hold the masculine element of fire, wands, and air, and swords. Sorry, fire, wands, air, swords. This is in opposition to the female elements of the earth, pentacles, and water, cups, where the implements rest gently in a receptive palm. The dark Ace of Swords is within the grip of the clouds. Massive power radiates this card. Use it wisely. Yeah. I hope that's what I'm doing. We'll see. Well, if you've been here for this whole ride, I am sorry and thank you. Mac, oh my God, we got some conversation. I got to go visit his grave because this is crazy. This is crazy. I can't believe I did this. I'm proud of myself. I'm very happy that I did this. I was not having a great day, continued to have a bad day, but did this anyway, and that helped. That made me feel a little bit better. This is going to be a long one, and yeah, you're probably not going to see it. Well, you, obviously, but you. But, again, thank you. I'm not going to ask you to follow and subscribe. This isn't going to be my norm. I probably will do this because it's just, makes me feel confident in a way, and I've been seeking that confidence in my spiritual practice since I had a really awful mental health episode in the midst of a 6 nights without sleep insomnia episode. Got dangerous. It was bad. I'll talk about that sometime, but yeah, my beliefs got shaken. So I've been coming back to myself, and I've been coming back to my practice after that, and it was just a matter of hours. I was over it, like, but I was really brutal to myself in that few hours where I didn't all of a sudden believe in a higher power and that I was disconnected from it. Because if you know, as I start sharing my story, if you know what I've been through, and you know that the only thing I had that whole time was a higher power looking out for me. So to have that moment where I was like, holy crap, it's not real. It all was stripped away. Nothing. I'm not protected. You don't want to be through what I've been through and not have protection. And I think you're connected to something else, because trust me, it's all got to mean something, right? So, yeah, that's me. If you want to comment, be nice, please. Kill her with kindness. That's what we do here. And yeah, and if I do receive hate, you'll probably see me giving love. And that's one thing I want to encourage too. One of my big practices, and this is where I'll finish. One of my big practices is return to sender with love. That was taught to me by a mentor that I have. Not necessarily in this kind of thing, but just as, like, she's a 7-year-old beautiful human that, like, wow, she's just incredible. Very healthy, vibrant lady. She loves me. It's great. And so it's something that she taught me. Return to sender with love. It's like anytime you have a negative kind of thing for anybody, it's you. It's you coming up with it. But if then you feel any kind of dislike towards you, or any kind of like ick energy coming your way, you just that's not me. You're not taking it on. I don't know. Just return to sender with love. With love is the most important thing. It's not return to sender tenfold. It's not, return to sender because, we're trying to get them back. It's like, no, they're not in a position, obviously, if they're sending bad karmic energy, they're not in a position where they're going to even be elevated enough to know that that's wrong. So it's up to you to not take that on and not reverse it. And when you return something to somebody, it's with love. You're cleansing it with love. And you're sending energy back to them, but it's rooted in love. So that's a big thing for me. And I do that a lot. And it's helpful. So if you find that helpful, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.